Hello, wonderful people. Do you feel like nothing matters? No matter how hard you try, you're just spinning your wheels. Do you feel lost? Maybe life didn't unfold the way you thought it would, or you feel behind, forgotten, or alone. Well, I want you to know something that the world doesn't tell you. You are not failing. You are awakening. All right, if you're new here, hi, I'm Cahir, and I'm here to take you one step closer to self-love. All right, so the most important thing I want to tell you guys, and I know this is similar to my other videos about like spiraling, right? It's really important to get back to center, always, always. What I used to do, the biggest mistake was I would try to take action in this negative state of mind, and I think it's very, very important to actually, just like in a video game when your health bar is low, you gotta get back up to 100, before you go out into the world. That's why I would just find that health pack, mental health pack. So get back to center, get back to 100, as much as you can. I know in some circumstances, but just setting that intention and looking at yourself through the eyes of like healing, like okay, something's off, I need to heal myself. That's still way better than just digging deeper. All right, and be present. Right, this has been such a game changer for me after I read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Because all healing really is just in the now, right? Well, everything is the now. There is no past, there is no future. It's all concepts of the mind. All we have is now. But what I struggled with is like if I would have an emotional flashback or some negative thoughts, I would distract myself. Maybe I would overeat or I would endlessly scroll. Or video games sometimes it could be like I said in my early 20s, like I'd play Counter-Strike way too much, and I didn't even like it that much. So I mean it's nice, but maybe not my cup of tea, especially not nowadays. That's when it became destructive. Um, right, and what the Course in Miracles says is nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Right? So beneath the fear, this mental anguish we have, there's something strong, something untouched. Right? This is your divine truth. Remember, underneath all this stuff. And I want to share you guys my time that I felt really, really lost. I talked a little bit about this in maybe my previous videos, but so when I was like 25, I was still struggling with university because I failed French. Forced to move out basically, and was in an apartment that was way above our means. My brother and I. Also, I signed up for a job, the Academy of Chicago, and they gave me a good amount of hours, and then it just hours went away, groups got canceled, and I was just making enough money to pay for rent. That's it. And so also the state of consciousness my brother in was also very different, because this was like 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago, that he was very controlling. And he was like, oh, Cahir, you better find a job, find a job. He would even like spell it out. Get a job, job. And also at that time, this is gonna sound really bad, but I have to be honest with you guys. I was really struggling with romantic relationships, and I felt like, there's got to be a better way. And I started doing pickup artist stuff. Luckily, guys, I wasn't like successful. Let's just put it that way. But I was just so desperate for love because I didn't know at the time this is limerence. Like I said, from CPTSD, like this obsessive love, like I'm going to find the love I'm seeking for myself outside of myself. I'm going to find in a partner. So I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't like a normal thing. I don't know what normal is, but like I just felt so like a hole was inside of me, and I was like, okay, well, if I find a girlfriend, of course, so I'm gonna talk to 100 girls. I did. I literally did. I talked to 100 girls, and well, at some point, I'm grateful that I did it. Like to say, like, oh, at least I tried because before, I don't know. It's better than not doing anything, but at the same time, it's not for me. But of course, my brothers at Heel knew I was doing pickup artist stuff instead of looking for a job, and he had to, berate me and shame me about it to, like, to control me. I understand. Okay, I was being, I can see irresponsible at that time. But still, like, I wish, I was treated with, respect. I mean, like, hey, it's really important for me to, you need to find a job so you can really pay. I mean, I was paying my half, but just barely, And I remember just feeling drained every day. And this is also what I was telling you guys, that I would go all the way across Warsaw and for maybe 3 or 4 lessons, right? I didn't value my time. I didn't value my time, you know? Like on Mondays, I had like one lesson in the morning, one lesson in the afternoon, one lesson in the evening, all in different places. So I had 3 lessons, but most of it was from the commute, right? Because since I didn't think about my time, and I just like, well, I have to do it to survive. And it sucks, man. It fucking sucks. You know, I thank the Holy Spirit every day I get to work online. And just the energy, guys, it's just like I felt alone, abandoned, and lost. I was like, I can't, this, I don't want this. I don't want this for my life. And the worst was like, my parents saying, well, just get a better degree and find a better job. Mm-mm. Thank you. That's so helpful. Like what I really wish I heard from them was like, hey, you're going for a tough time. I believe in you, Cahir. You'll get out of it. You'll get out of it. This is only temporary. But like I said, I got kicked more. I got kicked when I was down, and then I would kick myself when I was down. And I don't know if you're going through stuff like that, man. I'm here extending my hand out to you and like, hey, we can get out of this. We can get out of this. I believe in you. I have faith in you, man. Because the Holy Spirit has faith in you. Right? And the path for me wasn't lost. It was just hidden in fear and lack, right? This mental anguish, right? Because I was just in survival mode. What can I say? And when we're surviving, we're just thinking about the next day. And that's not what the Creator wants for us. The Creator wants us to create, to be thriving, not surviving. Right? And every moment of confusion or self-attack is a call for love. And a love for yourself. I know this is also, it could be weird for men. I told you what I told one of my friends, like or not my, like Tio, my ex-best friend. I was like, I'm trying to love myself more. He's like, what are you, gay? But honestly, it's like air, like I said, and the moments that we're in this mental anguish, you have to stay with yourself 110%, 110%, right? Like I said, it's easy to love ourselves when things are going well, but if things are going not the way we think, even more reason to stay with us, to stay on your own team, man. I know why. I give any reason, right? If I don't berate myself, I will never learn. Where do you think does that come from, the ego, or is that the Holy Spirit or ego, right? It's the ego, right? What I used to call it parenting consciousness, right? I will punish you because you behave this way. And it's a very contemptuous relationship to have with oneself. I don't want that for you, right? It's an illusion, guys. You can learn without punishing yourself. I know in this crazy world we live in, where it's okay to punish kids like this, like how will they learn? There's different ways, especially with yourself, man. I know someone needs to hear that. All right. And whatever reason you have to berate yourself, to abandon yourself, it may be foolproof, but not God-proof. Remember? Infinite love, infinite compassion. Infinite love, infinite compassion. That's what you need, man. And every feeling of loneliness, or I'm not enough, or no one will love me, I'm a loser, is your ego yelling delusions, but it's not the truth, right? This is the thing, because we can believe in the ego, we can believe in the lies. We can. We have free will. You always have that choice. You always have that choice to berate yourself, to call yourself a loser, piece of shit, whatever. But I'm saying, choose again, man. Choose again. Right? It's not your divine truth. It's not. You can believe otherwise, but it's not. Right? The truth is the truth, man. The truth is the truth. That's all it is, man. Right? You are an infinite being with infinite potential. All right, think about it. Like all the choices we have just in one day. Like, what if you just made a different series of choices and in 6 months you'll be somewhere 100% different, 180% where you are? Of course it's possible. It exists, right? Right? I understand that we can simplify it, and sometimes it's hard to make those decisions, but it's just one, like a simple willingness, one step. That's all it takes, guys. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but just like looking at yourself that you're not static. You're not just stuck, right? You're not fixed, right? Having this growth mindset that you can change, you can get better because that's the truth. That is the truth. I used to feel like I am fixed. I am who I am. I'll never change. And this is bullshit, man. It's bullshit, right? All right, choose again with grace and love. Remember, this is a process. It's a process. Like I said, ups and downs of self-love. Of course. But can you hold yourself with grace and like, hey, I'm learning. I'm trying to get better. What other choice is there, guys? I can't tell you how many years I spent berating myself, shaming myself. And for what? For what? Right? It was just repeating unconscious thought forms in my mind based on what my parents told me, the way they looked at me. Sometimes they did look at me with the eyes of contempt and they said contemptuous things, right? You're a yopo. No? Wyglądacie jak sieroty. Right? You look like orphans. Did you have to overdo it with the fucking bread? All this nasty, vile stuff was in my consciousness, right? I had to transmute it, right? I don't know what vile stuff is in your consciousness, right? But we can get better, man. We can, of course we can, right? We can choose again. Choose again. And the thing about positivity, I know it's like, oh, toxic positivity, but I'm done, with this. Like, what can I learn? What can I learn from looking at myself like, oh, I'm such a piece of shit. Nothing matters. I'll never amount to anything. What good does that give to you? What good does it do? It gives you nothing. It has nothing that you want because it's not true, right? If you choose love, if you choose to listen to the voice of love and say, hey, we're okay. Wherever you are, you're okay. Let's get the baseline. We're okay. Let's listen to the Holy Spirit and let's get better. What other choice is there, guys? Wallow in despair? I mean, it's a choice. Up to you. Up to you. But I don't want you. I don't want you to wallow in despair because I don't want myself to wallow in despair. And I used to. I used to feel alone, abandoned, unsupported. Right? But it was just a lie. I was always supported by the Holy Spirit, but my mind was clouded. Right? And just like what you see, Cahir is dispelling the clouds. That's my mission, to dispel the clouds of the ego. Right? Think about, I'll tell you the story, guys. Like with improv, how I said improv changed my life. It took one improv jam, one. Of course, we had practices and everything and just started the journey. But I just think about, what if I chose not to go to that improv jam and I didn't meet my castmates and we didn't start Nick's Nuts? What would have happened? My life would have been different, right? But I chose the willingness. I chose to believe in myself. Right, especially like mixed us wasn't even a thing, right? We were just like, oh, it's just an idea, improv group, and that took us from having shows every month, traveling to Berlin for a festival, and now we have a Christmas gig, and we actually someone as of this recording wrote to us and was like, hey, do you wanna throw a party for us? Knock on wood, it goes well, but still, like, people are reaching out to us, right? I don't know what your relation to success, but seeing your action, having fruits of your labor, it's amazing, right? Because I got to choose, and I know this is just informed. But I'm just saying, bet on yourself, listen to yourself, right? The answers are within you, like the way out is within you, right? It's not from me, it's not from some guru. You have the answers. You do. You just have to quiet your mind. And remember, your worth is not for debate. Your worth is not up for debate. Your value cannot be diminished. Your light has never gone out, right? It's still there. Your light is still there, the spark for life. When I was in the trenches, I felt like my light was diminished. I do believe, this society we live in is kind of like construed to diminish our light. But the light is the Holy Spirit, right? So it can never really be destroyed. We could cloud it as much as we want, but if we have the little willingness to listen to that light, dispel the clouds, right? It's there, man. It's there. All right, if you're liking this content, please subscribe, comment, but mostly subscribe. It's a really a nice feeling. And plus, if you really like this healing content, the more of it, right? So, because what really inspires me is I want to put more good in the world. And when I was struggling, I actually booked like a free mentorship on this like mentor.com, and it was this guy Omar, and he was like, "Yeah, Cahir, I just want to be your cheerleader." I'm like, "Really? Someone can be my cheerleader?" You know? And it sucks, I never had that, really. But now I'm my own cheerleader, and I do have a support network. But, it sucks, and I know there's people out there just like me that didn't have that didn't believe in themselves, and didn't have anyone to say, "Hey, you can do it." But that's what the videos are here. You can do it, man. I mean, what other choice? What other choice is there, to believe in yourself or not? I know, it's like, just believe in yourself. But the key to that is really to dispel the clouds, right? What are the blocks of love? Because the Son of God is certain, right? Because God is certain, right? So if we're His creations, His certainty is within us. I know, and but you have to, take stock of where you are at. I understand. When I first started this self-help journey, I started like this Bashar mastermind, like a mastermind based on the teachings of Bashar, and they were like, just move out, jump and take a leap of faith. I was like, what will happen, Cahir? I'm like, well, if I take a leap of faith, I'm gonna crash and burn and die. I was like, oh, because they were trying to give me guidance, but it wasn't coming from within, right? True guidance comes from within, right? I'm just talking about my journey, what works for me. If it resonates, great. If it doesn't, that's all right too. You have to listen to yourself. Well, when I say to yourself, to the Holy Spirit, which is inside you, the guy that is inside of you. You understand? All right. And the biggest lesson, and I'll repeat this pretty much in every video because it's so important, is to look at yourself through the eyes of love, through the eyes of Source, right? It even goes with science, right? With the quantum entanglement. Like if you look at if you observe, I don't know what they're called, photons, it like changes the other. Like double slit experiment. I told you guys, like if you observe one, the particles turn to waves. If you observe the waves, it turns to the particles, something like that. But we know science, like your life changes the way you observe things. And the Course teaches is like it's all about perception. Perception. How do you look at yourself? Right? And I told you, I had such a contemptuous relationship with myself. I looked at myself through the eyes of fear, of lack, of scarcity, of pure hatred, of contempt. What else can I say? Of contempt. And what did I get? I got those feelings. I got those manifestations. Even being spiritually aware, because it was so like, I don't know, maybe unconscious, right? Being emotionally neglected as a child, right? But whatever, not whatever, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want that for you, man. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anybody. Wouldn't it be amazing if everyone looked at themselves through the eyes of Source? Don't you think that's what Jesus wanted? Or wants, I should say. All right. And to look at yourself not through judgment, but through infinite forgiveness. Infinite forgiveness. One more time. Infinite forgiveness. Because all this like belief of lack of sin, right? All sin is just a lack of love, what the Course teaches, right? Sin is a lack of love. And remember, whatever reason you're giving yourself, it's not worth it, right? Right? Infinite compassion beyond human understanding. Beyond human understanding. And I know. We can come up with so many intrinsic reasons why, but because if I don't hate myself, like I said, it's a bullshit, man. It's bullshit. Right? I'm gently telling you, cut it out, please, for your own good. Right? Infinite compassion, man. Right? And look at yourself not through the ego story, but through the Holy Spirit's gentle correction. right? The gentle correction, right? And that has been like the biggest change for me as well, because I think especially in this manosphere, it's like radical steps or like, I think I see these videos like, if you're not running, you're a fucking pussy. There's a lot of like shame built in masculinity. Like, yeah, oh yeah, like, I remember like in high school, like I wanted to ask a girl to dance and I didn't, and my friend's like, "What? You chickened out? You chickened out?" You know, a gentle correction, like, "Hey, it's all right. That's all right. You'll get it next time. No worries." What benefit does it give you to call yourself a pussy? What benefit does it give you? Oh, because then I'll be better next time. Really? You think so? Can you have gentle correction? Be like, you know what? I was a little bit scared, but next time I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because I believe in myself. I'm a handsome dude. I got this, right? Isn't that just wonderful? Isn't that just wonderful? How we should talk to ourselves and to each other. And the thing is, you can do it. I know we especially when I was growing up, which is like this very vile, dark society, the bullying and insults, all this stuff. But we can hold ourselves to a higher standard. You can. That's what you can control, man. Especially how you talk to yourself, right? How you talk to yourself is paramount, right? It's like there are no private thoughts. That's what Course teaches, right? There are no private thoughts, right? Because if you're holding these thoughts of contempt to others or to yourself, you're sending out that vibration, right? That you're contemptuous, right? And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. Right? Remember, yes, all the answers are inside of you, right? Quiet your mind, and the Holy Spirit will answer you. Right? I wish someone told me that, because like when we're struggling as guys, we're told like just wake up at 4:30 in the morning, drink water, exercise, and if that resonates for you, go right ahead. But I don't think it's getting at the source, right? It's not getting at the source. I tried that too. I woke up at 4:30. I took those cold showers. I exercised. I still hated myself. As well, I was listening one for external guidance, and two, I wasn't getting at the core, right? I wasn't really asking the questions like why do I hold this relationship to myself? Why do I hate myself? Until Holy Spirit guided me, like, oh, you were emotionally neglected as a child, right? And you harbored these wounds. You have to heal it, right? That's the Holy Spirit guided me, and I listened, and I am where I am because of it, right? And just a reminder, guys, miracles restore the mind to its fullness. They release you from your own nightmares, right? Because, even though the anguish was real, it was like, the Holy Spirit, for its infinite love and wisdom, did release me. It did. Also COVID. COVID helped too, like with changing my circumstances. But, miracles restore the mind to its fullness, right? Because when we're being mean to ourselves, we have this contemptuous relationship where our minds are split. Right? It's a split mind, unhealed mind. I want your mind to be healed. Right? That is what the Creator wants for you. Right? To love yourself fully. Ask yourself, am I willing to see myself the way love sees me? If you're more religious, as Christ. But remember, this is a Course in Miracles channel, right? Through the eyes of love, through the eyes of Source, infinite compassion. Are you willing to? Are you willing to? Because I know at some moments I wasn't. But when I said yes, and I saw the miraculous being that I am, and the miraculous being that you are, man, that's what I'm talking about. All right, and if you're spiraling, place your hand on your heart and say, I am not alone. I am guided. I am loved. Even touching the heart in this prayer, like, awakens like the heart coherence. I'm not doing it justice, but if you'll just trust me, you can look it up. I love you so much, and things will get better. Right? It takes the smallest willingness, man. Right? I'm your cheerleader, but you gotta be your own cheerleader, man. All right? That's what the Holy Spirit wants for you. All right, may the Holy Spirit light up your path wherever it takes you. All right, and take care.